Alexander Isak boost. As Premier League domino effect transfer finally agreed, Liverpool appear to have moved one step closer to signing Alexander Isak from Newcastle, with one of their Premier League rivals agreeing a major transfer. The Reds had a £110 million bid for Isak rejected at the beginning of August, with Newcastle holding out for at least £150 million. According to the Daily Mail's Craig Hope, the Magpies will not even consider selling Isak unless they sign a replacement. Eddie Howe's pursuit of a new striker has so far ended in frustration, with Newcastle United missing out on Benjamin Sesko, who opted for Manchester United, and Hugo Ekitike, who joined Liverpool. According to Portuguese outlet Jornal de Noticias, the Magpies recently sent scouts to watch Spanish forward Samu Agawa in action for Porto earlier this week. However, their main focus appears to be Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa, who carries a price tag of around £40 million. Brentford boss Keith Andrews confirmed on Thursday that Wissa would not feature in their opening Premier League clash against Nottingham Forest, stating the player was not ready to play amid mounting transfer interest. The DR Congo international had been away from the squad during part of the summer, but has since returned to training. Just before the start of the new Premier League season, a significant twist emerged. David Ornstein of The Athletic reported that Brentford had agreed a club record deal to sign Dango Ouattara from Bournemouth. The fee is expected to be £37 million plus an additional £5 million in potential add-ons. Ouattara, 23, has grown unsettled at Dean Court despite scoring 7 league goals last season, including a hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. While naturally a winger, he was regularly deployed as a striker for Bournemouth during an injury crisis. His arrival could influence whether Brentford allow Wissa to leave. Newcastle journalist Craig Hope has suggested that the Magpies might be open to selling Alexander Isak to Liverpool if they can secure a replacement striker. Landing Wissa could therefore give the Reds a glimmer of hope in completing what would be a British record deal before the transfer window shuts. However, Liverpool's ambitions in the market could indirectly impact Manchester United's business. Both clubs are reportedly targeting Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. United, having already bolstered their attack with Benjamin Sesko, Brian Mbeumo, and Matheus Cunha, are now focused on adding a midfielder. Their initial interest was in Brighton's Carlos Baleba, but his £100 million plus price tag has pushed them toward Wharton as a potential alternative. Palace, though, may demand even more for the 21-year-old if they lose other key players like Mark Guehi and Eberechi S. Liverpool are in the frame for Guehi, hoping to sign him for around £35 million, though Palace want closer to £40 million. Talks have stalled, but the defender is eager for the move. Matters are further complicated by Palace's pursuit of Liverpool's Harvey Elliott, valued similarly. The Sun reports that a swap deal involving Guehi and Elliott is a possibility, something that could derail United's Wharton hopes. Palace had initially been more open to keeping Guehi for another season, which might have made them more willing to part with Wharton. But if both Guehi and Ez were to leave, Palace would likely dig in their heels over the midfielder, especially with extra funds from big sales. Ez, wanted by Arsenal and Spurs, has a £68 million release clause due to expire on Friday. Palace are also eyeing Elliott as a potential replacement should Ez depart. Wharton, who joined from Blackburn Rovers in February 2024, impressed despite injury setbacks limiting him to 20 league games last season. Baleba, 21, has similarly caught the eye at Brighton since his move from Lille, though his manager Fabian Herzler recently dismissed exit rumors, explaining that a minor knee issue kept him out of a friendly, but he had already returned to training. Meanwhile, Isak's situation at Newcastle has escalated. According to Craig Hope, the Swedish striker is on strike, following advice from his camp to show no sign of weakness as he pushes for a move to Liverpool. The 25-year-old netted 23 Premier League goals last season and played a key role in Newcastle's Carabao Cup triumph and Champions League qualification. Liverpool have already had a £110 million bid rejected, and no second offer has yet been made, with Newcastle still unable to secure a replacement. Isak has not trained with the squad and will miss Saturday's opener at Aston Villa, leading to his first fine for missing a competitive fixture. Newcastle are prepared to offer him a new deal with either a guaranteed exit clause for next summer or a release clause, but Isak remains determined to join Liverpool. His agent, Vlado Lermic, reportedly sees this as his last big deal before retirement. Newcastle's hierarchy have 3 potential outcomes. Scenario A: reinstate Isak into the team and continue using him. Scenario B: sign a replacement striker, then sell Isak for maximum value. Scenario C: keep him against his will until after September 1st, hoping he eventually reintegrates. For now, Scenario C is looking increasingly likely. Manchester United fans right now must be feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. The club's blockbuster summer transfer activity shows no signs of slowing down, as they push to strengthen Ruben Amorim's squad ahead of the new Premier League season. United are continuing their pursuit of Brighton's Carlos Baleba. The 21-year-old midfielder is valued at around £120 million. And while Brighton owner Tony Bloom is known for holding firm in negotiations, United's hierarchy remains unfazed by the hefty price tag. They are currently exploring ways to structure a payment deal. According to The Independent, United are weighing up an offer that includes an £80 million initial fee, with the remainder made up through add-ons. There's even been talk of including a player like Roma-linked Jadon Sancho in a potential swap deal, though Brighton are unlikely to accept that despite their strong interest. It's believed that Baleba's valuation may still exceed what United are willing or able to spend under current profit and sustainability regulations (PSR). Baleba has emerged as the club's top midfield target, but financial restrictions mean United may have to get creative. The midfield engine room has looked unconvincing in preseason, with performances from Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro raising concerns. Even academy breakout star and England international Kobbie Mainoo has struggled to find consistency and a settled position under Amorim. Despite questions from fans over how United could afford to spend around £100 million on Masches, Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo, and Benjamin Zeko, it appears the club is operating within PSR guidelines by cleverly structuring contracts and installment plans. However, spending another £100 million plus on a single player may be a stretch without outgoings. Baleba, who joined Brighton in 2023 from Lille, quickly cemented himself as a key figure in Roberto De Zerbi's side. He made 34 appearances last season, helping the Seagulls to an 8th-place finish. He's yet another testament to Brighton's exceptional scouting model brought in to replace Moises Caicedo, who had himself stepped up after Yves Bissoum's move to Tottenham. Brighton's track record of replacing big departures, such as Alexis Mac Allister, has allowed them to remain competitive despite frequent exits. Baleba himself has drawn praise from midfield peers like Declan Rice, Cunha, and Joelinton. He has also cited Manchester City's Rodri lifting the Ballon d'Or as motivation to one day win the prestigious award himself. Baleba has missed Brighton's last 3 preseason games due to a knee injury sustained in mid-July. Still, interest in him remains high. Elsewhere, United are making moves across the board. Midfielder Toby Collier is set for a loan move to Championship side West Brom to gain first-team experience. In goal, the Red Devils are closely monitoring PSG's Gianluigi Donnarumma, who is also being pursued by Manchester City and Chelsea. A decision on his future is reportedly imminent. In defense, there's growing interest in Bayern Munich's Dayot Upamecano. His contract expires next summer, and while Bayern want to extend, talks have stalled partly due to United's interest. His agent is now exploring Premier League options. Højlund's future uncertain. One of the summer's biggest internal stories revolves around